I think this is going to be a really huge shift in American politics going forward. Latinos are the second biggest voting bloc after white voters, and going back a few years, Republicans were really worried that with how quickly Latino voters were growing, they're the second fastest growing group in America, that they would be essentially locked out of future elections because of what they considered at the time a demographic time bomb. So back in the 80s, President Ronald Reagan said that Latinos are Republicans, they just don't know it yet. And we're certainly seeing a big shift to the right. I don't know if we can quite say that President Reagan's right yet, but I think it's a very concerning trend for Democrats and one that'll give Republicans a lot of cheer.
Of course, Democrats have taken for granted that Latinos are reliable voters for the Democrats. Does it just blow these assumptions out for future elections?
I think it really does, and I'd like to highlight Starr County down in deep South Texas, right on the US-Mexico border, and that was they had the longest running streak of voting for Democratic presidents all the way back to the 1890s, and this time they voted for Donald Trump. Now, this is a community, a county that's 97% Hispanic, and it shows you really that their frustration with immigration, particularly undocumented immigration, is as great as it is in parts of the white community among white voters who've long been animated by that issue. And so, President Biden, on his first day in office, right after the inauguration, cancelled the funding for President Trump's border wall. I went out on patrol with US Customs and Border Patrol agents down in that area or on the Texas-Mexico border, and many of those agents are from Latino backgrounds, and they're people who are real community leaders and felt incredibly frustrated with that change.
That core voter, though, that came out for Donald Trump, they make the distinction, don't they, which often Donald Trump failed to do, the illegal, legal migration. Now, Donald Trump says he's going to round up millions of illegal people in the United States. The logistics of that are mind-blowing, but the legal and the non-legal aspects is what won it for Trump. The people there legally, the Latinos there legally, don't think that the illegals should be coming in and want to put a stop to it.
No, that's right. And often they've gone through very lengthy vetting processes. It's very expensive. It's very difficult and time-consuming to get to the US. And, certainly, we're talking about 10 million interactions between undocumented migrants and Border Patrol during President Biden's term. That's a fourfold increase on Donald Trump. And a lot of numbers get thrown about on undocumented migration in the United States, but that's one that's actually true.
It actually featured quite low down in the list of priorities in the end, didn't it? The economy was up there. But it wasn't just, I want to talk to you about wider things, the presidential vote that was on the ballot papers that Americans went and put their mark on today.